Hello everyone, this is Hadrian. Thank you for watching. Let's play some more of the Whiteout Challenge in the long dark. We've survived for 2 days, 18 hours, and 50 minutes. We have... This is the weather almanac, by the way, for those of you wondering what the almanac was like and when I would freaking take a look at it. This actually gives me a pretty good view of how things are going to look considering this storm coming on the way. So for the next week or so, I mean, there's possibly there's a chance of some pretty decent storms, category 1s, right, which I would assume are the lighter blizzard types, but nothing major. But then, you know, if I manage to drag this out another week beyond that or so, we could be in some serious trouble. So what you're going to see me do a lot over the next couple of episodes is really just push myself to the limit of what I can carry and just safely keep around. So I've dropped this stuff here because I just don't need it. I'm already carrying 90 pounds worth of stuff. And brace yourself, because in this episode, I'm going to have to walk back to the base camp area in under a fairly heavy burden. But first, I want to take a second to look around and make sure that I'm not missing anything out here. Oh. Hey. I'm definitely not missing you. You can stay over there, and we're gonna go over here. We're gonna go the opposite direction. But we are gonna go ahead and, well, it's not really the opposite direction, but we're gonna try and walk down towards the main base, because I'm carrying a bunch of stuff and I need to lighten my load. So this is going to take a second to make this trek, because when we came this way, we came over the ice, but now we're actually following land again. Sorry if there was any weird noise just now. I was just double checking a setting on my mic. Very rarely even touch my microphone while I'm recording, but I started recording and I was like, wait a minute. Oh, you're not where I need you to be. So we're gonna go around. We're gonna go up this way and hope that there's not another bear that's gonna attack us. Now we should be okay. Actually, this is traversable right here. So, one of the main things we need to find, we really have two big, somewhat rare items that I need to find. As someone mentioned in the comments, I haven't found a can opener yet. And yes, that's true. It's weird that I haven't found a can opener yet. That's a good point. But what's more pressing than a can opener, especially since I have a knife, and the knife can do the job of the can opener, is I need a gun, because that's on the list, and I need a hatchet. Not only because it's on the list, but because the hatchet allows me to break down wood in the game world. And that, of course, allows me... I think I should be able to get back down now. That, of course, allows me to stockpile the wood portion, which is a pretty hefty portion of my list of survival-related items. Okay, that bear is definitely coming onto the road, so I need to stay ahead of him. But it's not difficult to stay ahead of a bear, but I just need to keep moving. Also, I have learned something new about the Long Dark since I recorded. Apparently, I can't talk. I'm going to try to fix that, but I just tried to say the word recorded. Yeah, that's what I tried to say. Yeah, I don't know either. I found out something new. Apparently, you can do this. I literally had no idea. You can check the visors, which makes perfect sense. It's one of the places you would look in an abandoned car for anything that might have been left behind. Someone just said, hey, why don't you look under the visors? And even before that commenter asked that, I noticed it in another Let's Play. So it's like, holy crap, this is something about the Long Dark. Now, listen, I've never presented myself as like an expert who knows everything on the Long Dark. I've got a couple of hundred hours of gameplay, and I've played it through several iterations, and I try to explain the game as I know it best, but at the same time, you know, I don't claim to know everything, but still, at this point, it's so refreshing to find something about the game that I literally don't know, that's already been there. It's so great to discover a new mechanic. One thing that I've said in previous episodes of Against All Odds in both seasons is how much I envy you if you are someone who does not yet own the Long Dark or has just bought it, because you have no idea how lucky you are. And actually, if you're in that position, you shouldn't be watching too many of these Let's Plays. You should really be trying to save as much of the game for your own exploration, and here's the key word, your own discovery. It's such a huge component of the Long Dark, and it was so captivating. Don't get me wrong, it's intense. It's incredibly stressful when you're playing Long Dark for the first time, especially if you are a fiend for challenge and you want to play on, say, Stalker difficulty the first time you ever play the Long Dark, because you will just die after a couple of days. And you watch Let's Plays like this where I've survived a couple of days already while pursuing a list, while pursuing a specific challenge, and I feel that I've done it somewhat like the back of my hand, but that's not always the case for everyone, right? And especially when you first pick it up, it's so stressful, but at the same time, you're discovering, key word, again, you're discovering every location for the first time. I'm going to swing through here real quick because there is a chance, I didn't look very closely next to all these logs, but I mean, there's a lot of fallen logs, right? So what's the likelihood that next to some of these fallen logs, there might be a, you know, a hatchet? Thing that people use to cut down logs. I'm just going to see if there's one laying around anywhere. It's possible. But yes, you have no idea how lucky you are if you have just bought the Long Dark and are just enjoying it for the first time. There is nothing. I have very rarely experienced anything in a video game in my life. And I've been playing games for 20 plus years. That rivals the experience that I had in the Long Dark when everything was new. It is so special. And so, anyway, that's just my long kind of happy rant. Not sad rant, not angry rant, but happy rant. If that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing. But you know what I mean. That's my soapbox moment on how great it is to find just new things that I don't know about the game yet. Because it reminds me of that time when things were new, when things were fresh. And that is the best time to play the Long Dark. Now, don't get me wrong. That's not to say that once you've discovered everything about the Long Dark, it's no longer entertaining. Obviously, there are people that have played the game for thousands of hours that play single sandbox games for hundreds of hours. Single games where they survive. I'm sorry, not hundreds of hours, but actually, yes, hundreds of hours, because they survive for hundreds of days. There are people who have survived in sandbox for 500 days. There's an achievement for surviving for 200 days. And I'm going to go for it with my current season of Against All Odds. I don't know that I'm going to get there, but like I've said in Against All Odds, if I get to 100 episodes, or 100 days, really, whichever comes first, I might go all the way to episode 100, who knows. But especially if I get to that point, then I will continue with the next season of Against All Odds, just trying to keep that series going and trying to go from 100 days to 200 days and get that maximum achievement. It'd be great to do it on camera, but the point is, it can be done. And you can still have a lot of fun doing it. So don't assume that just because most of the fun happens in the beginning, that there isn't plenty to be had later on. But I just love the Long Dark when it's new. Like when there's a new zone, I'm like a kid in a candy store. It's awesome. Okay, we are almost back, believe it or not. I told you this was going to be a long walk. I told you to brace yourself. I think we're about to come up on a car that I actually haven't explored yet. And I believe there are also a few locations where I either looked over, like there was a can of pork and beans at one point that someone pointed out, and I have a pry bar now, and there are some trunks that I haven't pried open. So I definitely want to check a few things out. I don't think I've been in here. No, I haven't, because I see a Not Just Any Grape Soda. Perfect. Man, are we already 10 minutes into this episode already? That was a long 10 minutes. Actually, it was kind of a quick 10 minutes for me because... Hey, wool scarf. I think... Didn't I already find one of those? Yeah, I did. Let's not forget. Alright, so there's nothing under these visors that I'm finding so far. Yeah, it wasn't a long 10 minutes per se, but I feel like it took a long time just to get this far. But we're moving very slowly because we're quite encumbered. Thankfully, we're not that cold yet, but the temperature is dropping because these winds are just in our face. And we're pretty hungry, so once I set everything down, and we are coming up, the Quonset gas station is up here on the left. Once we get there, we're going to have to set up all this stuff down to relieve our burden, and then we're going to pick up what we need and then go back out, I think. Because I have enough energy to keep looking for a bit, and I want to head up to the lookout here to see if that is a location where I could potentially find the rifle. And I'm also going to do what I can with this series not to fire the rifle at all. I'm going to do my best not to use it. I might use it if I have an extra bullet and I want to kill something for the meat, you know? But I'm going to do my best not to do that. So starting as soon as I drop all this stuff off, which we are almost there, we're coming up on it. Starting as soon as I drop all this stuff off, we are going to be... Hang on, I'm just going to look this way and make sure there's not another large creature. We are going to be exploring some of the more off-the-beaten-path areas of Coastal Highway, which we're going to have to do. Also, while the weather is somewhat decent, which apparently I have about a week, which is roughly 7 episodes if it goes at the normal pace, then, oh, the temperature is a little better right now, oddly enough. You know what? Let me go over to this car real quick. But I might actually go to, say, Mystery Lake. Or I was talking also about possibly going to Desolation Point. I still can't quite make up my mind. It kind of depends on what I find with this next foray into... Alright, nothing under the visors. Is there anything under the visors, ever? Has anyone ever found anything? Alright, let's pry open this trunk. Cloth. Newsprint. Newsprint is good. Ooh, painkillers. That's also good. Alright, I'm actually, rather than going straight into the gas... Oh, wait. I'm just looking for any cars, because there are some trunks that I need to pry open. Any cars that I haven't visited yet, I'm going to check out. And that bear is definitely patrolling my way. So yeah, I haven't quite made up my mind. Am I going to Mystery Lake? Am I going to Desolation Point? I don't know. I'll figure it out at some point. Like I said, that decision will largely be made by the stuff that I've found and where I feel I'm most likely to find the most stuff quickly. The advantage of going to Desolation Point is it's a bit more straightforward of a trip. Throw some water and some newsprint. Anything under the visors? No. Okay, so no luck with the visors so far. I like the fact that you can search under the visors, but it hasn't actually yielded anything special. It hasn't given me anything that I really needed. It was like 34 degrees. I think I have coffee. And I'm kind of tempted to make some. This trunk is empty. I've already been through there. In that case, let's... Hey, I hear wolves. Alright, nothing under the visors. Okay, let's go inside. The reason I was thinking about coffee is I was just looking at my tiredness meter here, because if we go to... Hey, is that something I didn't pick up? No, it's just an empty can. Of course it is. Let me just triple check back here, because I don't think I've actually looked through. Yeah, the register's empty. Everything is empty in here. Some of you have asked when I'm going to actually organize this stuff that I'm putting on the ground. I will, believe me. I'm not just going to leave it all in piles on the ground. But for now, it helps a lot to keep it that way. So let's go ahead and drop all... But actually, let's go ahead and just drop a solid gallon. A little bit more than a gallon. Drop that. Drop all these sticks. I think I can drop all this cloth, too. Let's have a look at our clothes there. This I can harvest. I don't need it. Right, and then everything else is pretty much perfect. Let's go ahead and repair these jeans, just for the sake of having maximum temperature bonuses. All right, good. Those got repaired. All right, they're not maxed out, but I'm happy enough with the status of my stuff. So now we need to. I'm carrying some extra bandages. I'm probably going to drop all but about 3 of those, or 2 of those. Let's do that. Let's drop those. And then I don't think painkillers are on the list. I'm going to go ahead and eat this fresh venison. I know that I probably said before that I wasn't going to do that, but I think I've got plenty of food, frankly. And now I have this gamey venison as well that I could cook. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to put down all this stuff I found. Found so much food. And it's going to make it difficult for the last couple of items because they're multiple stacks. Okay, so that's all that. Now let's have a look at our list. Oh, wait, no, not that. This. Food, 9.1 out of 15. So we're 2/3 of the way there. We're 5 episodes in, and we're 2/3 of the way to the food mark. I am pretty happy about that. Let's also drop the jerry can. We can drop this flare. We can drop this lantern fuel. We can drop a whole bunch of matches, because I don't need this many matches on me. I've got a lot of organizing to do. I'm just dropping a bunch of stuff on the floor. Because the only place it needs to be is here in the floor. Also, we found some bullets. Let's drop those. Okay, let's drop those. Perfect. And then, of course, we have... I'm going to come over here with some of these materials we found. I'm going to drop this cured leather, which I don't need on me. I'll drop all but 10 of this cloth. So we're going to drop 16 of that. We're going to drop every single bit of this wrapped up newspaper. That's 3 pounds of paper. We're going to keep... Let's see... No, we're going to keep 3 of these on us. At some point later, I will go ahead and convert a lot of this newspaper here into tinder, which is going to help me fill out some of the list. But right now, I want to go out while I still have some energy and try and find some things. Namely, a hatchet. So that's pretty good. I think I'm happy with that. The main thing, I've got about 6 hours of daylight left. I'm pretty parched. Go ahead and drink. I'm also going to pick up some food to take with me, just to make sure I'm covered in that regard. Hey, what? I'm just going to take a Summit soda and some condensed milk. That'll be enough to cover me for any trip that I make. I'm going to rest for 1 hour, just to give myself a little shut-eye, a little bit of an energy boost. It's not going to be huge, but it's better than going out for the remainder of the day with the energy that I had left. Yeah, that's better. Got about half my energy left. Interesting that my tiredness meter starts going down. Look at that. Whenever I stop moving, it starts decreasing at a slower rate. I find that interesting. One thing that I'm going to probably try and bring up pretty soon that I would like to see is a more realistic simulation. I might have mentioned this before in a video. I'm not sure if I mentioned it here or possibly in Against All Odds, or I might not have mentioned it yet, but I would love for them to add a more realistic simulation of circadian rhythm. Now, if you don't know what circadian rhythm is, you have to have studied at least basic psychology to have an idea, or you might have looked into circadian rhythm specifically, but it basically is the body's natural sleep cycle. And it also involves the things that naturally make the body think about sleep. For instance, every night around 10 or so, usually at dark, a little bit after dark, of course 10 is usually after dark, except for certain times of the year, your body naturally secretes, your brain naturally secretes melatonin, which makes you sleepy. So how would that be reflected in the long dark? Well, when you are walking around at night, you'll consume energy faster because your body is going to be telling you to go to sleep. So by fighting that, you're actually using more energy. I think that would be cool. And another thing... Oh, I thought I saw something resembling a bear, and that's definitely a bear. And he's right where I need to be. Okay, well, we'll just go this way then. If we can find our way to the lookout. It's not far. The only trouble is, This snow is making me nervous. But anyway, so at night, the way that that kind of change would be reflected, in addition to the fact that if you were trying to pull an all-nighter, you would consume energy at a more rapid rate. But one of the things that you would see is you would no longer wake up during the middle of the night at all. The circadian rhythm does a pretty good job of keeping you asleep, even when your batteries are fully recharged. And that's one thing about the Long Dark's rest system that I don't find particularly believable right now is they've got it tuned right now to where even if you're sleeping at night, which is when you're supposed to be asleep naturally, and let's say your batteries are fully recharged at 3 or 4 a.m., you'll wake up. Now, that might be true if you went to bed at, like, 5 p.m. But even if someone went to bed in the very early evening like that, as soon as they pass that 10 p.m. threshold, right, sleep takes on a different meaning. And many of us know this. You know, you might go to bed really early, but as soon as you hit that middle of the night threshold, you're more likely to sleep through it. I just think that should be reflected in the Long Dark. That would be cool if they added that. I think I know exactly where I am. Make sure I don't walk right up on a bear. Awesome. Yeah, I found the cabins. Okay, so we're pretty close. We are pretty close to the, let me peek in here real quick. We're pretty close to the lookout. Alright, so there's an insulated vest. I don't care about that. There's some more painkillers. There's usually a dead body in here, so I'm overjoyed that there's not one this time. Anything in the crate? No. Anything on the shelves? No. Nothing on that shelf either. Wow. This is disappointing. There is nothing in here aside from that insulated vest that I don't care about. Okay, then. Well, we're going to keep looking. We can find. Ah, the weather looks a little more forgiving now. That's good. That's good. Alright, we're going to go in here. We weren't able to explore that hut that we passed earlier, of course, because giant bear. What more do you need to know aside from giant bear? No, we don't need to break that down. Although, having the extra reclaim would be nice. We will pick up that fir firewood. Don't really need any of this. I don't know why I picked up that that hat. It's not necessary. I keep doing that. I keep picking up stuff that I just definitely do not need. And it's not because I don't know that I don't need it. I clearly do know. I just, by pure reflex, I keep picking the stuff up. Alright, let's see what's on this guy. A whole lot of nothing. Alright, there's a pry bar, but we already have a pry bar, and I don't think a pry bar is on the list. Nope, it's not. Kerosene. Alright, actually, we need to find more kerosene. We have surprisingly little kerosene, things considered. So we need to go out and find a spot where there's additional kerosene. So I might have to go to Desolation Point while the weather is kind to me. While the weather is being kind. Okay. That's that. Well, where to? Go up here. The lookout is right up there. Matter of fact, I could start climbing a rope now. But actually, even better than climbing rope would be just climbing slope. I should be able to just walk up this hill. I think, if memory serves. Should be able to, right? Or is this sealed off? Memory is not serving. Looks pretty sealed off. Is there a path there? No, there's not. Okay. Almost sprained myself there. That's not good. There's not a path there. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, where is the path up to the next level from here? I'm spacing right now. Maybe it's that direction, but I don't want to go that direction because bear. Well, tell you what, while I'm looking around for it, I'm going to go ahead and cut this episode here. In the next episode, we're going to try and find... Oh, hey, here we go. We're going to try and find our way to the lookout. And then once we found the lookout, we're going to see if hopefully there's a rifle and or a hatchet there. One or the other would be fine with me. And then at that point, I don't think we're going to get... Yeah, this is not looking any better. This is not helping me. Oh, wait. Wait. This doesn't look traversable. It looks too steep, but I'm going to try it. Yeah, it's too steep. What about over here? Looks a little better. Nope. Okay. I will go ahead and cut this one here, and the next one we're going to keep looking for the rifle or the hatchet, whatever presents itself to us. And then we will just continue trying to go down this list. How many sticks did I grab? That's another question. Got 23 out of 50. But sticks are not going to be a problem. I'm not worried about anything kind of stick-related. Because once we find the hatchet, life is just going to be so easy. I'll go ahead and pick these up since they're right freaking in front of me. But not something I'm super concerned about. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I upload new episodes in Against All Odds, or not Against All Odds. I upload new episodes in the Whiteout Challenge. This is the other series, Hadrian, every day at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is GMT -4 for those of you not in the States. And comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in a bit.